The Honourable Speaker, Sir, the Honourable Prime Minister, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Ministers, Honourable Members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, Sir, I rise in this August House to contribute to the 2026-2027 National Budget debate with my full support. At the outset, I take this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to the people of Fiji. Their unwavering support for our people towards the work that we do continues to inspire our service to the nation. It challenges us to do better, to be better, to do more, and to be more. Mr. Speaker, Sir, I also wish to commend the Honourable Minister of Finance and his team for a responsible budget for a sustainable future that speaks directly to the challenges we are facing today while creating opportunities for a better tomorrow. This budget reflects the future we seek to build for our people. It is an investment in the foundations for a stronger, safer, and prosperous Fiji. I wish to emphasize that any budget is a step towards success. Doing nothing is the only real failure. This budget strengthens the institution that protects our communities, supports digital transformation, that creates opportunities and builds a stable environment that encourages investment, supports economic growth, and improves the lives of our people. The responsibilities entrusted to the Ministry of Policing and Communication are closely connected. Policing helps keep our people safe. Communication helps connect our people to opportunity. Together, they help build the confidence upon which a modern and successful nation depends. As government, we have the privilege and the responsibility to serve our people. That responsibility calls us to lead with integrity, steward public resources wisely, and always place the interests of our people first. That is what this budget seeks to do, to invest responsibility in safer communities. It invests in trusted institutions, stronger digital capability, and above all, it invests in our people. These investments strengthen the nation's resilience, enhance public safety, and support a secure environment conducive to economic and social progress. Mr. Speaker, Sir, the first responsibility of every government is to keep its people safe. Without safety, there can be no confidence. Without confidence, there can be no investment, and without trusted institutions, there can be no lasting prosperity. It is about creating a safe and stable environment where our people can live in peace. Businesses can invest with confidence. Visitors continue to choose Fiji, and our economy can grow. With inclusion of the responsibility for communication to my portfolio, I commend the allocation of $34.2 million to my ministry. This investment will strengthen the ministry's ability to lead national security policy, coordinate policing reforms, and continue Fiji's digital transformation. The ministry remains committed to strengthening the legal and institutional framework that supports effective, accountable, and modern policing. Equally important is the funding allocated for the review of legislation. Strong institutions also require modern laws, and our legislation must keep pace. That is why this budget will continue to support implementation of the new police bill, which is currently before the Standing Committee on Justice, Law and Human Rights. When enacted, Mr. Speaker, Sir, this legislation will modernize policing in Fiji by strengthening accountability, improving governance, and providing a clearer framework for professional policing. Mr. Speaker, Sir, few issues concern our people more today than the growing threat of illicit drugs and transnational organized crime. Drugs destroy lives, destabilize families, undermine communities, and threaten the security of our nation. Over the past 3 years, Fiji has seen more than $4 billion worth of illicit drugs circulated within local communities by external and internal actors. With over 2,400 drug-related cases recorded Late last year alone, government continues to make the fight against illicit drugs and organized crime one of its highest priorities. While legislative reforms are essential to support development, enactment, and implementation of key laws and regulatory frameworks remain equally important to combat the threats of illicit drugs. Through this budget, Mr. Speaker, sir, 1.6 million has been allocated to strengthen Fiji's counter-narcotics capability. This investment will support the continued establishment of the Counter-Narcotics Bureau, the recruitment of specialized personnel, and the development of the Counter-Narcotics Bill needed to provide the Bureau with a strong legal foundation. This is a direct investment in enforcement, prevention, and security of our people. 2 months ago, the General Policy Direction on the National Coordination of Transnational Serious and Organized Crime, also known as TSOC, and illicit drug enforcement in Fiji, was issued and subsequently endorsed by Cabinet last month. The intention of this policy is to provide clear direction for a strong and coordinated national response to detect, disrupt, dismantle, neutralize, and curb TSOC and illicit drug networks. These joint efforts will be manned from the National Joint Enforcement Center, NJEC, where personnel will work to share intelligence, coordinate operations with a common purpose. I also acknowledge the role of the Republic of Fiji Military Forces in supporting the ongoing joint operations with the Fiji Police Force. Under these collaborations, illicit drug cases in the first quarter of 2025 to 2026 dropped by 30%, with overall crime rates decreasing by 18%. These operations form a crucial framework for sustaining, coordinating, and safeguarding Fiji's national security against the harms of illicit drugs. But enforcement alone is not enough. Effective change requires contribution from all sectors, and success can only be achieved when all of us stand together. This budget therefore supports prevention, rehabilitation, and coordination across government. It makes Fiji a safer place to live, work, and invest. Mr. Speaker, sir, we now live in a time where digital transformation is no longer optional. It is essential to economic growth, service delivery, and national resilience. That is why this government continues to invest in building a Fiji that is more connected, more inclusive, and better prepared for the opportunities of the digital economy. Through this budget, the Digital Transformation Office and Communication Portfolio have been allocated a total of 17 million for the new financial year. This investment will help modernize government services, strengthen national connectivity, and support our vision for a digital economy that creates opportunity for all our people. A key priority for the ministry is digitizing government services. The whole of government service mapping exercise will create a clear pathway for more services to be delivered online over the coming years. Currently, the exercise has identified 788 critical services across the whole of government, 385 of which will be digitized by 2030. This will be complemented by the finalization and rollout of the whole of government chatbot interface, which will allow easy and convenient access to government services by members of the public. Similarly, the continued development of the Unified Service Portal and the Government Data Exchange Platform is expected to be completed by this year and will allow ministries to provide faster, simpler, and responsible government services. This will be supported by the finalization of the privacy and data protection legislation and the development of the data management framework. For our people, this will mean less paperwork, less waiting, and improved service delivery, Mr. Speaker, sir. The National ID Program initiative that will establish the strategic framework for developing and operating a secure, inclusive, and interoperable national identification system for all Fijian citizens is progressing well. Consultations have now been completed, and the National ID Card Bill will soon be tabled before Parliament. Work will also continue on the development of a national artificial intelligence framework and the national cloud policy for stronger data management and responsible use of AI across government. These initiatives will help ensure that innovation is embraced responsibly, securely, and in ways that benefit our people. Mr. Speaker, sir, all this work cannot be achieved unless we have the right legislation. The communication portfolio has successfully completed the first 2 rounds of consultation for the review of the Telecommunication Act 2008, and work on finalizing this will commence shortly. The continued rollout of the Universal Service Scheme is helping ensure that more of our people can participate in education, business, and government services, regardless of where they live. 50 satellite broadband community Wi-Fi deployments are currently online with the aim of connecting remote and underserved communities throughout Fiji. Phase 2 of this initiative will commence in the upcoming financial year and will connect over 300 new sites and communities across Fiji. The continued expansion of 5G services, together with enhanced 4G, will further strengthen national connectivity. The 5G networks are now available along the Suva, Nadi, and Lautoka corridor, with phased rollout continuing nationwide as per the network roadmap set by government. The Ministry will also continue to restructure its telecenter program, with 3 new telecenter developments in process, with an additional 3 earmarked for Taveuni, Lau, and Ra to commence in the new financial year. As Mr. Speaker, sir, as Fiji becomes more connected, we must also become more secure. Technology is creating new opportunities for our people and our economy, but it is also creating more risks. For the new financial year, priority will be on investing in national digital resilience to strengthen our national cyber posture and capability across government. Plans on implementing Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT, monitoring tools, formal submissions on CERT, operating models to Cabinet, and a dedicated social media site to provide cyber-related information are currently in development. In support of these efforts, progress has been made on the development of a Pacific Incident Cyber Response Plan in collaboration with other Pacific nations to ensure that our region can collectively detect, respond, and recover from cyber threats effectively. And to ensure oversight regarding the implementation of various government cyber projects and activities, the Ministry will establish the National Cybersecurity Working Group, Cyber Incident Response Steering Committee, and the Cyber Incident Crisis Task Force, among other forums. Mr. Speaker, sir, we commend the allocation of 13 million to the ITC portfolio to strengthen the national digital infrastructure. This investment will improve the resilience of government systems, strengthen cybersecurity, and help protect the digital services upon which our people increasingly depend. The investments made over recent years are already delivering important results. The government's National Operations Centre and Security Operations Centre are now providing 24-hour monitoring of government's digital infrastructure. This is a significant achievement that will support government in having dedicated round-the-clock monitoring and response capability for ICT and network infrastructure. As government concludes its comprehensive review of the national ICT network infrastructure, several valuable recommendations from this review has emerged to further strengthen government digital services. Several recommendations identified through this review have already been identified by the Ministry and have been implemented as part of government's ongoing digital transformation program. The Ministry remains dedicated to investing in critical digital infrastructure and technologies to enhance and elevate the government's cyber posture and delivery of digital services to all Fijians. Mr. Speaker, sir, the collective work undertaken by the Digital Transformation Office, or DGTO, and the communication team in the previous financial year has yielded milestones that have advanced national digital connectivity throughout Fiji. I would like to mention a few. These include the establishment of the Fiji Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT, the launch of the National Cybersecurity and Resilience Strategy 2026 and 2031, the cybersecurity website for timely and effective support to cyber-related incidents, the completion of Fiji's national privacy and personal data protection policy, which is aligned to international standards and best practice. Last and not least, the completion of the digital Fiji stack, including e-profile registration and the Whole of Government Data Exchange Platform, or DXP. Together, Mr. Speaker, sir, these initiatives are helping build a safer and more resilient digital environment for our people. Mr. Speaker, sir, through this budget, the government has allocated a total of $226.5 million to the Fiji Police Force, with a reduced allocation of $13.8 million from the previous fiscal year. It does not diminish the Fiji Police Force commitment to public safety and security. The continued commitment of police officers in upholding the rule of law and maintaining national peace is a testament to the enduring dedication of the Fiji Police Force. It is the character and integrity of officers, not the size of the budget allocation, that defines the measure of our police institution. The overwhelming majority of police officers serve our nation with professionalism, discipline, and integrity. They work long hours. Many serve far from their families. Many place themselves in harm's way to protect our communities. They deserve our gratitude and respect. This budget challenges the Fiji Police Force to do more with less, to be innovative, and to modernize its operation and strengthen partnerships. Managing this reprioritization requires tactical restructuring rather than cutting core services. Our police officers will have to work smarter and refocus priorities. By embracing these aspects, we not only sustain operation, but transform them to deliver effective policing. The budget also recognizes that strong policing depends not only on dedicated officers, but also on providing them with equipment, infrastructure, and support needed to do their jobs well. Mr. Speaker, sir, at this juncture, I wish to raise the recent reports concerning police misconduct have understandably caused concern to our people. I understand these concerns, but I also want our people to understand something important. A professional police force is not one that claims to have no problems. It is one that is prepared to confront problems honestly, investigate them fairly, and take action when standards are not met. As accountability becomes stronger, more issues will come to light. That should not weaken public confidence. Rather, it should strengthen it. It tells our people that integrity matters, that no one is above the law. Integrity is the foundation of public trust, and the public trust is the foundation of effective policing. As Minister, Mr. Speaker, sir, I will always support officers who serve our nation with courage, discipline, and honor. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the 2025-2026 financial year, significant progress was achieved in the strengthening of police infrastructure nationwide. I mention a few. The Phase 1 of CCTV works linking Suva and Nausori have been completed for wider visibility. Phase 1 of the wider area network project and the construction of the Vuna South Taviuni and the Daria community post, ready to be completed. This achievement demonstrates government's continued commitment to improving police facilities and enhancing service deliveries to communities across Fiji. Mr. Speaker, sir, with support of our international and regional partners, we will continue to invest in a more secure and resilient economy. Our recent engagements with the government of Japan have resulted in the investment of more than $1 million into the project of improving the cybersecurity capability of Pacific Island countries, which will commence in September this year. Our current collaboration with the United States and Indonesia on counter-narcotics continues to yield significant results with relevant training, exercises, capacity building opportunities for our police officers. In partnership with the UK High Commission and UNDP, I led a delegation to Watulela and Bengal last week to attend the graduation of villagers that participated in the boat master's license and restricted master's engineer course under the Solosolevake ni Vitamaki Matanitu, Wanua, Kenalotu. I'm happy to report, Mr. Speaker, sir, that this project or this initiative is working extremely well. As I conclude, let me reiterate that this budget is more than just figures on a balance sheet. It is about the kind of Fiji we are building together. A Fiji that is safer, better connected, more resilient, and full of opportunities for our people. I wish to acknowledge the dedicated men and women of the Fiji Police Force, the staff of the Ministry of Policing and Communication, and our many partners across government, our traditional leaders, faith communities, civil society organizations, and development partners. No budget can solve every challenge in a single year, but a responsible budget should strengthen the foundations upon which future generations will build. The decisions we make today will shape the Fiji our children inherit tomorrow. Let us ensure they inherit a nation that is safer, stronger, more connected, and full of opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, I commend 2026-2027 national budget with my full support. NASA.